What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with NIO stock, what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers, what the technicals are suggesting, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I do anything like this, before I talk about what's happening to the markets, what I predict to happen for tomorrow, and what's going on with all of this data that's coming out, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends in just about 5 hours, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with NIO. NIO is up 3.08% for the day, holding up quite nicely. And the question is, will NIO try to bounce from here? Well, the first thing it has to do is try to break some critical resistance. And you can see right over here, NIO is very close to this gap. We have an unfilled gap, which tells me that NIO should push a little higher, but then we're going to see if NIO can break critical resistance or not. However, the whole market's going to have a very interesting day tomorrow because we actually have a lot of options expiring. This is going to be the biggest factor affecting how we move. Max Payne's at 440, but we have 1.5 plus million calls expiring and about a little bit more than 3.5 million puts expiring. So the majority of positions are going to be on the put side, with the 2.27 puts to call ratio. Most positions are puts, and the market makers are incentivized to try to push the market up as a result of that. Now, NIO is coming out and they're talking about the ET5. It looks very, very awesome, very, very amazing looking tail light. And I think that this is a very good catalyst for the long term. But for the short term, there's been some talks about NIO's next earnings being weak potentially. And I don't really, agree with that. I don't think we could truly say anything about their earnings just yet. Their margins have been eaten quite a bit with all of the price cuts and also because of other declines. But I'm still very optimistic about what their future holds because NIO moving forward still has so much potential. We're starting to see more production. Their production capacity is going up. On top of this, they're projected to give us some very strong deliveries very soon. We're going to be watching to see how these higher amounts of deliveries affect their earnings. I believe this could be very positive for them, especially for the fourth quarter. During the Q4 report, that's going to be coming out later on, but we actually have the Q3 report potentially coming out soon over the next couple of months. So I think Q3 is going to be a lot stronger for NIO. So is Q4. I think their numbers have been quite good. And we're approaching the second half of September. We're going to be watching to see how this ends up helping NIO. Now, looking at the targets, we tend to see NIO do a lot better during the end of the year. So I'm going to be very excited for this, and I'm not going to really count on their earnings to be too bad. Were there declines in the past? Yes. Are their margins being hit? Yes. But I'm not too negative minded because I think that there's a lot of potential for them towards the end. So we're going to be watching this very carefully to see how this affects NIO. Moving forward, I just want to mention that as we approach, any potential future outcomes, NIO is also going to be giving us more information about future products. I heard there's going to be an update for the NIO phone to come out soon. The volume was very weak, only 26 million. So I'm going to be watching to see what could help the volume go up. Deutsche Bank is still saying that NIO is a buy. The price price ratio is quite flat for the company. And as of right now, Fridays tend to be green about 53% of the time. So there is an edge for NIO. Also, there's not a whole lot of shorting going on. So it's a good sign for NIO as well. So now let's break down this chart. How is this looking? Well, it looks to me like NIO could be forming either, if you want to interpret this as an inverse head and shoulders, you could try to do that. But at the same time, you could argue that this is looking like a cup and handle that's forming on NIO. So I could see this as being either a slanted inverse head and shoulders or a cup and handle, and this may lead to more upside. Now, NIO has this unfilled gap around the 10.6 area, wasn't fully filled just yet. So I think there's going to be upside tomorrow, and NIO is going to make an attempt to break out. I think 10.6 is going to be tested. If we get above that, we're going to be watching 10.9. If that breaks, then the 200 EMA around 11.06 is also a possibility. But overall, it looks like NIO has potential to try to bounce. I'm very optimistic about what this company is capable of doing. I think the best way to go about this is just to be as patient as possible. When it comes to SPY, I just want to mention that this is also looking bullish, which is a good sign for NIO. We had a bullish wedge that potentially developed. And when we really zoom out of the chart, I'm going to try to zoom in a little so you can see this. uh, right here, I think I zoomed out too much. Right here, we have like a cup and handle that formed on the smaller time frame. You can see there's an accumulation structure. We have the very bullish looking technicals for the 4 hour time frame. It looks like we have a target of 452 to be met as soon as tomorrow. So it looks more bullish. It looks like this thing is going to try pushing going into tomorrow. I think there's a lot of potential for it to do so. On top of this, when you look at Tesla, Tesla looks more bullish as well. We have a nice wedge. Watch for it to gap down and start pushing towards this 278 to 280 area. It is still looking more bullish, so there is still potential for it. It's also been continuing to uptrend as time goes on, which is looking quite good for it. As it uptrends, we're starting to see momentum shift in favor of the bulls, which is still a good sign. For Apple stock, we have a potential shift in market structure. The 4 hour is about to get a bullish cross on the PPO. I think we just got it. And then I want to add that on the 30 minutes time frame, Apple is making higher highs and higher lows again, starting to break out. You could see even in the after hours, it made an attempt to push up. So there is a possible bullish divergence here. And this may lead to Apple pushing towards 177.5. That's looking bullish. QQQ looks bullish too. Nice, accumulation. We also have a cup and handle on it, just like SPY. This looks like a cup, a handle. We're going to be looking for that breakout towards that 380 area. Once again, not bad whatsoever, and the market is trying to continue to push. Last but not least, I just want to mention that Nvda is looking more bullish, which could help the QQQ and the whole market in the tech sector. Uh, Looking at this, we have a potential on the 4 hour time frame. We have a potential inverse head and shoulders developing on the chart, and this could lead to more upside in the future. We have a left shoulder here, the head right here, and a right shoulder could be developing. You're going to be looking for that breakout. If it gets above 465, we're going to be watching for the gap fill towards 470 over the next couple of trading days. I think there's potential for the stock, so we're going to be watching it all very carefully. We're going to be watching to see if this thing can truly break out. But anyways, guys, that's what I have for the rest of the market. Because of the market potentially bouncing, watch NIO potentially gap down, then watch this push come to it, whether this is the inverse head and shoulders leading to the push or just a cup and handle. I think NIO is going to try to make its way up to the 10.6 area, try to break above the 50 EMA, and then we could see 10.8 in a rejection and still a green close for tomorrow. So I'm predicting some more upside for NIO. The 4 hour is still looking a little bit more bullish, and NIO established a higher low relative to before, which is going to help it even more. All right, so hopefully this video was helpful for everyone. Tomorrow is going to be an interesting day since we have so many options expiring, but the market makers have positioned themselves to have an edge regardless of what the outcome is. So I think there might be more options expiring, leading to a potential short squeeze, maybe a mini one, at least in the morning. To start us off, I think we're going to start off very strong. We'll see what happens throughout the day, if it becomes like a trend day or not. But I do believe there's more upside coming. This could help NIO at least early on tomorrow. I think NIO is going to push up even more. That's what I'm predicting for tomorrow, and that's what I have for this one. So I thank you all so much for listening. Please remember to remain calm, cool, and collected no matter what. And I will most definitely see you guys very soon. NIO to the moon, because the long term is still incredibly bright alongside for the whole market. And peace out.